You're listening to the Real Estate Entrepreneur Podcast with Terrence Murphy, where we cover sales, investing, and entrepreneurship with an emphasis on real estate. Each podcast, Terrence and his guests will bring you informative and inspiring information within the real estate industry.
Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Entrepreneur with Terrence Murphy. I got a quote. It's real short. It's a Michael Jordan quote. Work ethic eliminates fear. So right now, like everybody is walking in fear, especially in the entrepreneurial space. If you put in the work and put in the due diligence and do what you need to get the competence, I always say competence creates confidence. So that's what we need to be focused on. Dave Jones is the owner and operator of Windermere Abode real estate company. Serving the community is a commitment Dave made to himself as he entered his professional life. As a former educator and high school principal, he takes service-minded approach to everything he does. He is also a videographer, hip-hop junkie, and has a love for all things tech, and is a certified hoopaholic. Welcome him to the show today.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to have you. I know we connected a while back.
How hot is it down there, man? Because I was just down there not too long ago, and it was. I took a shower. I walk outside, and I don't even know why I took a shower. I was in Jasper, Texas, Beaumont. I was around that area.
Southeast. Yeah, it's 102, but it's not even the heat, bro. It's the humidity. That's the difference, bro. Like 90-some% humidity in Texas, man. It's hot right now. It's a hot real estate market, and it's a hot state, like literally. So it's crazy times, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me, man, just how you became a real estate entrepreneur. Tell me your story. We all have a story on how we got into this space, because it's a space that a lot of people are flooding into, but we all have a reason on how we got into it. Tell me that, man, and just kind of catch me up on what's going on.
All right, man. I mean, I'm gonna give you the footnote version since we have limited time here. But
for sure.
So my initial, I was grew up playing basketball, all those things. I wanted to be a basketball coach, and a high school basketball coach, coming out of school, and went to college, played a little bit. And then I went into education. So I was a teacher for 12 years at Stadium High School. And that's, if you ever seen 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, so it's an old movie that's been played over and over. So anyway, that's the school that I taught at for 12 years, Stadium High School. It's a big old castle. And then I became an assistant principal at our local school, our local high school. I coached and taught and all that stuff when I was teaching. And at the same time, Anne, my wife, was on her trajectory into becoming a real estate agent. So when I was done coaching, I resigned from coaching after about 8 years. I was a head coach for 5 at the high school level. And I picked up a camera. I was managing artists at the time. And I picked up a camera because I was like, man, that was about 2011 when cameras were you could create your own videos and stuff. And so I was like, man, we could do our own listing videos. So I could do a terrible listing video. So anyway, I got a camera, started making her listing videos, and from 2011 to 2013, you could probably go back on our YouTube now and watch all those videos. We were doing listing videos back then. So that was our first foray into working together. We're like, man, we're actually making a pretty good team. But I went into administration, and then we had an opportunity. She kept leveling up in her real estate business on the side, and we both were leading separate careers. And, my next move was to be a principal. Her next move was to own and off, do whatever, who knows? She didn't know. But then it was just like, we got 2 young boys too at the same time. And it just seemed like we were passing in the night. We both are career driven. So then we had an opportunity to open up an office, and I just said, you know what, let's do it. And so I quit my job. Everyone was going kind of crazy. Just like, why would you do that? You just got in, you're making good money, all these things. And I was just like, yeah, but I mean, there's something else out there for me. I don't know. I can always come back.
There you go.
So I quit. And we opened up Windermere Abode in Old Town Tacoma. And, we opened up with 6, 7 agents, 7, including Ann. And our goal with Windermere Abode was to create something different, something that was just, first of all, you have a Black owner, a black man and a woman, as owners. So that you're checking off 2 boxes right there. And, we just wanted to create more of a, what if we just asked ourselves, what if you took, because brokerages might be 60 people or whatever, and 20 of the people, you got your top producers, and you got people who are just kind of in, and then you got people who might just be hanging their license there, right?
Yep.
So we're just like, well, what if you just took the top 20 and you just wrapped your arms around them, and you created this culture, and it was synergy, and we had media, and we told our story a certain way, and you have the aspect of a Black owner. So, like the vibes is going to be a little bit different. Like, from when you walk into like the paintings on the wall to the stuff that we talk about, like we talk about all the stuff. This was in 2017. We were already talking about all this stuff. And so when George Floyd had hit, it was like, man, we already, this is how we opened up. We opened up out the gates like this because I'm an educator. I look at things from an equity lens always, and so that's how we opened up. And then it seems to be working. We just been growing ever since. And right now, currently, we're trying to figure out what scaling looks like for us. Scaling any business is hard. So, as you know,
mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at right now. We've been open since December of 2017, and it's been a ride, man. It's been a ride. If you would have told me 5 years ago this is what I'd be doing, I would laugh at you, man. I honestly, I was ready to ride out principling until I was dead. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's it.
That's the part about the real estate industry, man. When you transition into it, it's very sticky. It mm-hmm. It grows on your bones. It's like, man. And so I'm proud of what y'all are doing, man. Like, I know we connected some time ago, and your wife and I have shared the stage at Inman Connect. And even when we're up there, like, she's saying stuff, I'm saying stuff, but we like vibing, it's like, it's the same, it's the same kind of thought process around culture and around substance, and not just growing to grow, but growing with the right people, man. So I was really proud of what y'all were doing, man. That's awesome. That's why I reached out to you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Especially us running an independent, my wife and I know the struggles that you have. So as you think about an agent, right? We get our licenses as a single agent, and then we maybe grow a team and then become a team leader and then become a broker owner. What do you feel like was attractive to you guys about becoming a broker owner? And then what pain points are you trying to solve as a broker owner?
Man, that's a good question. For us, why we became broker owners, because it ain't because of the money. Like, because if we wanted to make money, we would. If we wanted to make money, bro, we would have been already just made a team. Because we talked about that. I was like, well, because she was already selling a lot of houses, and we actually made less money going into ownership. So, but it's more of a long game. It's about having a buildable an asset. It's about being able to row the same boat, if you will. So for example, today, right now, as we speak, my son's in tennis. I had to run out, go get my son, take him to tennis, and then come back here. And then she's going to, because we got one car, because you know what I mean? Like, we're able to row the same boat. Whereas before, if that was the case, man, I can't move. I'm in the building. I'm putting out fires. I'm doing stuff. It's in school, whatever. And so we just wanted to be on the same page a little bit more, and I think, and I feel like we also had complementary skill sets. So I have a master's in educational leadership, which really is like management, almost like I've dealt with teams my whole life, been captains of teams and all that kind of stuff. I was like, man, so let's talk, because I love culture. Mm-hmm. Like, let's start with culture. And then she has the real estate chops. She's been doing it for, 12, 14 years, and her parents were in the business. And so our goal was to create something different, something new, and create a lifestyle for ourselves where we had a little bit more flexibility, and we were building something that we could be proud of. And I was listening to Dame Dash, like a while back, and he was like, I want to be able to give my kids a job. I was like, damn, I can't give my kids anything. I can give them a pension or something, but I want to be able to build something. So that was one of the reasons to become broker owner. Now, in terms of what we're trying to do, or what our goal is to set out to do for our people, for our brokers, we wanted to take away the barriers to implementation of like social media, of the listing process and getting your listing out there and making it look good. Cause Ann had this process and people were like, man, what do you do? Your listings always look great. They're always put out, she put it out on YouTube, like all the different channels. The video was on point. The marketing remarks were on point. Everything came out seamlessly. Cause you had that one time to get it on the market, right? And make it look good. So we took that process and now that's what we do. And that's baked into what we do here at our brokerage. So every listing looks the same. Well, not the same, but you know what I mean? Like the standard is a standard. And if you want to go over that standard, great. But we have a standard in terms of the way that we list houses, the way that we market houses, and the way that we go about business. We're serious about our standard of practice. So we educate, we have education. We're a small little office. We only have 26 people, but we're the little engine that could, we do a lot of business here and we have great people. And so we just wanted to create a spot that we were proud of and wanted to go work, man. It's because, man, when I was in my last job, now I'm going on a tangent here, but when I was on my last job, I was just like, why are people so mad? Man, if I'm going to spend 60 hours here at this building, I am trying to be in a good mood. I'm trying to make it, enjoyable. Yeah, we're going to have stressful times. We're going to disagree on things. You play sports, I still play in the league on Sundays. We're yelling at each other all the time. But at the same time, we enjoy it. We got love for each other. We're going to, pull for each other. So we wanted to make sure that it was a place too that we enjoyed being. So it's like people like family, basically.
Man.
So man.
No, that's good, man. And like you said earlier, people always say the broker because we're the ones that are broke, right? It's like they think the brokers just sit back and collect checks. And so, and I will tell you, I commend you guys and obviously myself included. It's tough to be an independent. It's tough. And so you're hitting a lot of pain points that you got to solve. And I don't think people understand what brokers have to deal with on a day-to-day basis as an independent. So proud of you, man. So
Thank you.
As y'all are scaling the brokers, what's the big why? Is it, like you said earlier, being able to roll in the same direction, being able to work with your bride? Let's talk about the big why. And then the other question I keep getting that I used to always get with me and Erica is, how do you guys have a marriage and then also work together? How are y'all being able to do that? Right. So if you could give
counseling,
literally, if you could give our listeners advice. So on that, if counseling it is what it is.
Yeah, I can speak on that. Our why basically is, we want to change real estate. I mean, honestly, for me, it's bigger than that. I want to change the world, and I feel like if I can change, I felt that way when I was teaching in my little old classroom. I was like, I'm going to change the world. I don't care if it's through these people. One of these kids is going to go out and change the world. But I want to change the world. And people might look at me crazy for saying that. And it's just like, okay, well, when I keep telling myself that, I keep having opportunities and things start coming up.
Yep.
But we do want to change real estate in terms of practice, in terms of how we work in abundance instead of scarcity. We share, we collab. We have a true collaborative space where we don't have offices. It's open, which has been a challenge in COVID times. But our why is to both create a space for brokers to talk about equity and do community work and be pillars in our community while being on the conversation of, gentrification and righting all the wrongs of real estate in terms of how we've had, oppressive policy. And we've had policy that was intended to be, equitable, but 50 years later, it hasn't been. It's actually gotten worse. So we want to be on the front lines of some of those community conversations, but also we want to tell people you also still can be good. You can be good and still have a voice in all of this other stuff as well. You're not going to lose business. You actually, in fact, we've doubled our business every single year. And we're at the forefront of all of these, what's seen as what people call political conversations. I don't call it political because I'm talking about humanity. I don't talk about politics. I talk about oppressive policy. I talk about redlining. I talk about Blacks being 3 to 4 times more likely to fill in the blank in medicine, in real estate, in finances, in education, in anything. So I'm like, okay, well, we have this system that clearly isn't working. Now, most people would veer away, especially owners would veer away from those conversations out of fear of like losing business. But I'm saying, no, this is what we stand for. This is what we want everybody to win, truly.
Yeah.
And we want to serve everybody too. So we want to have a diverse office, or we're trying to have a diverse office. We are intentional about doing that. So those are our whys pretty much. We want to diversify real estate. We wanted to be on the front lines of communication in terms of what's happening in our communities, in terms of gentrification and housing crisis and all that stuff, and not just stick our head in the sand while we exacerbate the situation. And, we also wanted to create a vibe. Like, let's create a dope spot. Like, if you go to our website, Windermere Abode, like, you can see the content. You can actually watch us build this office from the day that we opened. Like, that's I have a vlog. I shot the vlog. Like, you can watch it. You can binge watch it on YouTube if you want to. Like, that's dope to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
I'm going to do dope stuff. We got a podcast too. So like, I just wanted to do something that was dope. Like, this is how I would move if I had a business, basically. And then this is what we're doing. And it seems to be working, and people seem to like it. So we also want to have, we want to produce dope people too. Like, we want to help people gain wealth. We want to help people, help their people.
Yeah.
I think it's just about people, man, at the end of the day.
No,
now, that was a long answer for the first question. The second question about the spouse, I mean, man, it's hard. Like, you got to be cut. Like, so me and Ann have known each other since elementary school. We didn't start dating until after high school, but we knew the same. We have a similar, mutual friends and whatnot. But yeah, I have one answer to that: proactive counseling. Like, and this is probably TMI. Our cycles are faster. You know what I mean? Like, so, because you don't have a choice. Like, we don't have 4 days to be in the doghouse. I don't got 3 days to be in the doghouse. It's like, we gotta figure out, we gotta name it, figure this out. I know I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I got my faults, but like, I know I can call them out. I can name them. We'll just start laughing and be like, yep. All right, cool. I still feel some kind of way, but what are we doing about this? Like, you can at least, know what I'm saying? You can move forward a little bit more.
Yeah.
Cause before, boy, I tell you what, cause we both go off to work, our separate jobs. And so you're in that space, she's in this space, and you still ain't resolved anything. So there is some benefits to working with your spouse.
I tell people that all the time. Like, you're forced to deal with it. Like, because, there's people that work for you and there's people that work for us. Me and Erica can't be in our feelings in a business meeting. We got 15 people sitting in the room. Like, we got to deal with this. And so we just have this rule: don't let the sun go down while we're, at odds, and so no matter what, we're going to put those kids to bed and we're going to hash this thing out and then turn our heads to the pillow. No, that's good, man. And I think that's a great perspective. Like, if you say I married my spouse, this is my partner in life. I tell people Erica's my partner in life and in business. And so, she's truly my partner. Like, and so it's not a me then her, it's a us. And so we both have a voice at home. We both have a voice at the office.
Have you found that y'all have had more couple teams pop up at your brokerage? Like, do you attract couples as teams? Because we do.
Yeah.
We have multiple.
Yeah, I would say for sure couples are, especially now that we've merged our independent brokerage, we are seeing so many couples from around the United States reaching out to us for what we were doing with our independent. It's been the craziest thing. Like, New York, Vegas, LA, Atlanta, North Carolina, Florida, Arkansas. So we have so many couples that are inspired by what we did with our independent, and they're reaching out to us to partner with us now. And it's been, it's been crazy. Cause like you said, it's a dynamic that people don't talk a lot about.
Right.
And honestly, there's not a lot of people in the real estate space that step to the forefront of the stage and keeps it real about that. So, you get to these different real estate things, these seminars, and these people are just out there cheesing and smiling and being perfect. And so for me and Erica, like, we're real people, man. Like,
Yeah.
That's the key.
It's hard, bro.
Yep.
It's hard, bro.
Well,
like,
keep swinging at that thing, man. So let me ask you this. You were an athlete, right?
Yeah.
When you transition, what did you learn from being an athlete that you've used in business? I think that's really important. Ooh. We have a lot of athletes, whether they're pro or D1 or not. Everybody's an athlete at some point. Especially a lot of real estate people. What did you use as being an athlete that you transitioned into business that you feel some traits that helped you?
Man, that's a good question too. And I talk about this a lot. To me, it's a unique experience. And this is why I want my sons to play at least one season or whatever in a team sport where you are fighting against the person next to you for the spot, for the time, for the whatever. But when game day comes, you got to work towards the same common goal. And I think that in terms of adults that I've seen in my last industry in education and managing people and managing adults in there, and then managing adults and watching adults here in this space, there's the common thread to me is those who have played sports or team sports or been held accountable in different ways in that facet of life in sports tend to navigate, I'm trying to choose my words wisely here, tend to navigate like conflict and things within the organization, because real estate is its own little thing where we have a bunch of 1099 employees who they're their own business. Like we don't tell them what to do in a lot of ways. But so we operate like a team, but out there, they're still competing against each other. So it's almost backwards, like where we are Windermere Abode and we have this unique thing and we're definitely, there's a lot of synergy here, but then out there, they're still competing against each other. So it's like the opposite of being on a team where you go out and you compete against another team versus, so it's kind of weird. But I think that when you look at the people who we have here, a lot of them have been involved in some type of sports or whatever. Some don't. Not everyone's like, I'm not saying that it's a either or thing, but I do believe that in my experience from watching it and for myself, I'm able to, be on a team and be able to compete against people, but also work with them at the same time. I can lead from the front, I can lead from the side, and I can lead from behind. And I think that that's a thing that we all have to learn as, because you get humbled. Yeah. I know you've been humbled. I've been humbled. Yep. We've been injured. We've been lost games. I still play with these young cats, man. And they be mad. They miss a shot, 2 shot, or another team goes on a run. I was just playing last Sunday. I was like, man, these kids is getting mad, hanging their head. And I'm like, hey, get the ball to the floor. Next play, man. Let's go. What are you hanging your head for, bro? There's 85 possessions in this game if we play the tempo we want to, but we can't play the tempo we want to if you're hanging your head. There's going to be shots made. You acting like they ain't going to make a shot. Yeah. So dealing with adversity, moving on to the next play. And those are things with real estate. You got a broker who we were just talking about that this morning in our ninja session. Mentally, man, you might go months without a deal. How are you dealing with that mentally? There's that part of the game too. And of course, one of them, both were athletes. So, former athletes. Yep. There's the mental side of it. There's working with other people, dealing with adversity. Those are all things I think you get from the sports. Man, I love it. The sports world translating into the business world.
No, I love it. Yeah. It's key because, and I think a lot of times people downplay those things you learn in sports and they don't really understand how to translate it into the real workspace. But what I tell people is if you think sports is competitive, man, you haven't got into business.
Facts.
There's a quote that I've heard. It's called business is warfare. And so it's if you don't understand that, man, you thought you were competing on the basketball court or out there clapping pads and hitting each other, man. Get ready. Because we're in College Station with Texas A&M. There's a lot of athletes that reach out to me, soccer girls, volleyball girls, football players. It doesn't matter. And I try to prepare them for that because I don't think they really understand the sense of urgency and the level that they're going to have to rise to mentally. But I always tell them, you already got it in your chest. Now you just got to learn how to translate it. I love that, man. It's a great response. So what sets your thought process? If I was going to go back and say, here's one thing you wish you would have known when you first got in the industry, what would it be if you were going to talk back to yourself when you first got in the industry?
Man, that's a tough one. I think what I would have told myself then is, I don't know, that's hard because I honestly, I did such a deep dive that first year because I was known as Mr. Jones for 14 years, 15 years. I commanded some respect. I'd worked my way up the ladder for 15 years and commanded some respect.
Yeah.
So, and I was known throughout the district. I'm not saying I'm like a most popular guy or nothing like that. Like I like to be behind the scenes personally, but so if I would have told myself something different, it'd just be like, man, keep going. Like whatever other people are saying or what they're thinking, it doesn't matter. Like just keep running your race. I run my race. I texted that to Ann yesterday. She was talking about something. She said, "Oh, did you hear about something?" I was like, "Nah, we're running our race. I'm gonna run my race. Like I don't run anybody else's race. I only worry about me, man, and what we're doing in our people. Obviously, I keep up with what's going on out there, but at the end of the day, I just worry about my own chicken.
Yeah.
Like Sean said, Marshawn said, we got to take care of our own chicken, take care of your mentals. So, that's all because I'm still so fairly new. I still have so much to learn, and so I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I don't have an answer because I wouldn't do anything differently.
No, that's good.
Like,
bro.
I feel like I stripped myself that first year. I literally stripped myself down and broke myself down. I didn't make, you start a business, you ain't making money. So you got to look at how you're moving. You got to look at you really find yourself. So yeah, man.
And that it's the why in the vision that's going to carry you through it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you didn't get into it because you just killing it those first couple of years. I tell people all the time, the first 2 years I was in real estate, I lost money. Lost money. Mm-hmm. And so they just see you on the other side, but it's like, no, man, you got to put it in. So
I also had I have a saying, like I have 2 mission statements for my life, like my purpose of why I'm on the earth. So like, I already know those are my 2 tenets that I go by. And they're basically to create access and equity for Black and brown people. And then to give a voice to the voiceless. Like those are my 2 things that I'm put on. I feel like I've been put on this earth to do. Mm-hmm. And that was made when I was in my other industry. Mm-hmm. So like, no matter what I do, like that's just kind of at the crux of who I am and what I do. And so anything I do is going to just lean towards in that direction, and it'll, obviously I do other things but that's what I felt. And so that's what I leaned into that first year and getting into this business.
Man, I love it.
And this is the manifestation of it.
For sure. And God set you in that very spot, that very reason at this time for that.
Yeah.
I love it. And you can tell it flows out of you. It's not forced. It's just it flows out of you. And I have some similar sayings that it's just who I am. Mm-hmm. So as we think about the way you set up the brokerage with the culture and the movement and everything, just the people, if you said, and obviously, proprietary ideas, you can keep but what is this one thing about your brokers that sets you apart? Kind of that secret sauce for your agents.
For us, to me, it's the synergy. Mm-hmm. It's the synergy that we have between each other. It's the willingness to share and truly share. Like, hey, how did you do that? Oh, I did that. Well, let's meet up and we'll talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, also the other thing is the owner, Ann's I don't know. I know she don't like to say this, but she's not the top producer, not even by a long shot. Mm-hmm. Like, and I know that that's not common because, because she has business flowing in. It's not, but we're really focused on helping our brokers become the best people and really the best brokers they can be and I want them to have record years. We've had a couple top producers, like that were at the top. And then she's somewhere down in the bottom, in the middle to the bottom, like, and that's the transition out of selling and getting, part of that's an intentional move, but also part of that is just from the heart. It's like, we really want y'all to win, man. Like this is about y'all and really making it happen for y'all. And so I think that's what's special about what we have going on here is they all see it. They all share. I mean, we have good synergy and the best part is you can go watch it all. You can go see, like, honestly, man, like when you watch those videos on Inside Abode and stuff, like that's the goal of it, is to make it look like that's who they really are. Like it ain't fake. It ain't. Yeah.
It's not
produced or edited. Yeah.
I love it. What do you see as the biggest opportunity in the next 12 to 24 months in the real estate industry?
Oh man, you're going to get me on so what I see right now is I'm in the blockchain space. Like I've invested in crypto and I pay attention to that space. And I'm really actually, right as I was waiting for this, I was looking at, I know Proppy is a company that's doing some things. I just saw that there was a NFT, a home that was just sold.
Proppy did that?
First NFT. What's that?
Proppy?
I don't know if Proppy did it or I can't pronounce. I don't know if it's Proppy or Proppy, but
yeah, I think it's Proppy. I was on their show 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm listening to you.
So I think I think the NFT, like I think the blockchain space and how real estate incorporates that technology is going to be a key factor moving forward. Maybe not in the next 24 to 48 months, but I think the groundwork will be laid for the next 5 years or so, or 5 to 10 years. And so I'm really watching that closely. I think, when we have Compass and other companies like that are publicly traded coming in this space, and we have, the tech merging with real estate, I'm watching that really closely. When you have, I just think that that's an interesting thing going on right now. And we have Redfin right in our backyard. So like we see it. I think it's a great business model. It's not one that we're doing, but I don't hate on anything, man. Like that's the thing. I don't hate at all. I look at it and go like, all right, well, what can we take and what can we learn from that? And what are they doing? Cool. That's their business model. Well, I'm going to lean into my business model even more because I know they can't do what we do. Yeah. Like they can't, they physically can't. So, and I grew up here. Like I know all the people. I know how to tell my story. I know how to narrate. I know how to, we have a podcast. I know how to shoot video. I know how to edit. I know how to market. So it's like a triple threat. Yeah. In terms of, I don't know. When I look at the business though, I think the relationship between technology and real estate has always been there. And I think it's just it's literally about to take off, like with the blockchain technology stuff. Man. So real quick, because I like to, obviously I know a lot of this, but if you could just run through this for my listeners real quick, because I know I'm going to get the question. When we talk about cryptocurrency, blockchain, Dogecoin, all this crazy stuff, right? Break down this for me. I'm going to ask it to you. So what is cryptocurrency in one sentence or two sentences or whatever? What is cryptocurrency? I like to call it digital assets. Yep. It's blockchain technology. So if I had to say that, I would say it's blockchain technology. It's Internet 3.0. We're on the precipice of a major shift in technology. Okay. And it's the first time in history you're able to participate in that and build wealth alongside it with the tokens that exist on the technology that's being implemented and created for different spaces. And I think in every single one, most people look at it as in terms of currency. I look at it in terms of technology, and I'm not looking at the gain. I'm looking at the gains like, yeah, I know I can make gains and investing in certain ones, but I'm looking at the technology and I'm so fascinated by that. Like I was doing this with the internet. I was in classrooms in 2008. I'm sorry, this is the long version of the answer. You're going to get long answers from me. Keep it running, bro. I was in classrooms in 2008 talking about, the cloud, you're going to be able to stream games from and kids were looking at me like, what is he talking about? What is like, you always talk about the cloud. And I was just like, hey man, Google's coming, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And so I'm an early adopter type guy. Like I like looking forward to things and I have an imagination where I can see it. I'm like, oh, I get it. So cryptocurrency is more about the blockchain technology, I think, and smart contracts and how those impact and make our lives more efficient in so many different ways, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's, we work with contracts, smart contracts. We work with real estate contracts, supply chain management, arts, music, everything is going to be impacted.
That's crazy. So what is an NFT then? And what the hell does NFT stand for?
NFT is a non-fungible token. So what an NFT? So an NFT basically is like a minted. It's a minted piece. It's a digital asset that is one of one. So like if I wanted to create an NFT, I could make 50, and I would mint them 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1 of 50, 2 of 50, 3 of 50, and those are digital assets. They live in on a blockchain, and the best part about it is I can create rules around that NFT. So the originator of the NFT can create a royalty for that NFT. So that means I can put in there, all right, so the creator will get 5% of every transaction of this NFT from now until forever. And so that's why I think it's going to change the way we do things, because if you're a business, if I'm Nike and StockX and GOAT and all these other resale, all the resale market exists and they're not getting a cut of that, I would create my own blockchain, create my own token, and basically say like, here, this shoe is an NFT and it's going to live. This is one shoe of 500,000 or however they want to make of that shoe. And it's, if you want to resell it, cool, resell it on here. And they get that 5% kickback. What business is going to say, no, I don't want to take advantage of that. I don't like that royalty piece. I don't think we should. Like, it's coming. If you're talking about, they have tickets, they have scalpers right out there selling tickets. They don't get a cut of that. Well, if that ticket's an NFT, they do.
Wow. That's a game
changer.
So, I mean,
like, yeah, it's coming, man. Like it just makes too much sense for me. So NFTs also can be tickets. They can be physical products. They can be art. They can be NBA Top Shots. It can be anything pretty much. It's a non-fungible token. It's one of one.
I love it, man. I knew a lot of that, but the way that you broke it down, it makes it clearer for sure. That makes sense, man. So, and then the last question, because I've been getting this a lot. How are people using cryptocurrency to purchase real estate? Is because of the contracts and everything? Because I'm starting to see brokerages are starting to, when they put a listing up, they say, you can use cryptocurrency to purchase this, right? So how do you see that affecting our industry?
I think it will be here at some point, because right now, if you open up your PayPal app, you open up your Cash App, you open up your Venmo, there's a crypto option. And I think as USDC, so that's US dollar stablecoin, and Tether and these other stable coins, and those coins are coins that they're backed by Visa. They don't move. They're just $1 to a coin. So you can put your money there if you want something safe. People are going to, here's why. Okay, this is a roundabout answer. Okay. It's going to be impacted because I think banks are almost like Netflix, or I'm sorry, like Blockbuster right now, because you have companies like Voyager, Coinbase, BlockFi, these companies that can offer you high yields, like 9% on my USDC stablecoin, the one that doesn't move at all. So I'm sitting here going, well, why wouldn't I keep my money with you at 9% APY versus the bank? So it just makes sense. And so they're also saying, oh, by the way, we're going to give you a Visa card that you can use to, while my money's making 9% APY, you're going to give me a debit card and I can just spend out of that too at the same time. Like, that's a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer.
I'm moving my money over to Voyager, or I'm moving my own money over to Coinbase or whoever. And at the same time, I can hold Bitcoin, I can hold Ethereum, I can hold Cardano, I can hold, and I might be, and if you accept those coins, I'll pay in that. So it just depends on what kind of bag you hold. If I have $50,000 worth of Bitcoin in my account, and I go to the store, I got to put 20 down on a house. Well, I'm not going to use my money, my fiat, my dollar, my currency. I'll just take it out of my Bitcoin. Do you accept Bitcoin? Yeah. All right. Cool. Here's $20,000 of Bitcoin. And you can verify that with my Voyager because they're backed by a bank or they're backed by FDIC or whatever. So like, and right now that's all happening. All that friction right now between the institutional banks and crypto is happening right now to work all of that regulation out. And I think that what we're going to see down the road is we are going to see more people if you don't accept crypto, then they're going to find someone who does.
Wow. Man, evolve or die for sure.
We're going to have to.
Yeah.
And I want regulation. I think it's a natural progression. And also what I like people to look at is when they think about the time that we're in right now, we're at the beginning of a century. This is the 20s. Go back to the roaring 20s. What's old is new. Ain't nothing, like we've been down this road before. And so I think we're going to see some really crazy things happen in this this decade.
Love it, bro. Last couple questions, man. Thank you, man. Yeah. No one's ever really broke it down for my audience that way. And I appreciate you, really diving into it. I think people are going to walk away with some substance and some framework to dig deeper if they want more.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
What's one technology that your brokerage is using that you feel like has really helped you guys be innovative or scale?
Man, that's a good question. I could answer that in a couple different ways. You have the logistics side of things, like the operational side, like we use paperless pipeline. I know, and I learned a lot of companies are using that. There's different versions of that software. But honestly, if we talk about technology, it's social media. Mm-hmm. I think when we talk about marketing, we talk about video, like I shoot video. So I shoot video, but I don't shoot all of the listing videos. I think video has been the number one thing that has really truly add on top of expertise and trying to provide value. Anne's a designated broker, so she's doing a lot of, all of that stuff. But in terms of visibility and how we've been able to present, video has been the number one thing I think that's really truly kept us top of mind to a lot of people. And we've been able to tell the story and narrate how we do our job and how we do our work.
Love it.
So
love it, bro.
It's been it.
All right, man. So I have every one of my guests that come on to recommend a book. I think you had, the book you recommended. Why did you recommend that Race for Profit? And what did it do to help, change your life?
Yeah, Race for Profit. Race for Profit is a good book to read because I think because Color of Law has been the book that a lot of people will point out. But I think Race for Profit looks at the policies, why fair housing hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. And the author dives into what has happened, what's taken place. And, we're all going to have different takeaways from a book, but I think what she breaks down is she goes back and looks at FHA, VA, and all these other things that have taken place, the New Deal, and looking back at those and going, okay, well, since the Fair Housing Act, actually the home ownership of Blacks has decreased, not increased. And the wealth gap has actually increased, not decreased. So we had this intentional, we had this policy come to play and we had this push, but how come it hasn't worked? So she dives into that. I'm not going to tell any answers because I'm actually rereading it right now because there's a lot of information. But that's one of them. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that book and I'm rereading it right now as we speak.
I got to pick that up. All right, brother.
Yeah,
so
good.
I want to get your final thoughts to our audience, man. Thank you for this great episode. But also let people know where they can find you if they want to look you up, they like what you said and they want to connect. So give me your final thoughts to our audience and then where can people find you?
Man, well, I appreciate you having me on the show, man. Like this has been an honor and like it's crazy because I remember you from college. Like I used to watch college football like a lot. Like I used to be a junkie. So when I see the name, I was like, man, where do I know him from? Like I know. And then yeah, the A&M. I was like, oh yeah.
Yep.
I used to get down.
Yeah, I used to get down, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I know.
Yeah.
So to the audience, I really think that, you know, we have a lot of responsibility in this time to truly change this nation to what we want it to be. And I know I want it to be for my sons. I want it to be a place where, you know, they can thrive and not have to worry about, you know, the color of the skin and nothing like that. And I know that we all want that, but we have to actually do intentional work to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm on. That's what I want to do on top of being good at our jobs, you know, like, and I really take that seriously too. So we can do that. And I also want to provide more spaces for Black and brown people in real estate. You know, I think that that's important to me. It's something that I will do until I die or I move into another industry, whatever. I already talked about my 2 core values. So anyway, that's what I got. And if you want to find me, man, I'm at The Deacon on Instagram, THADEACON. That's my personal page. That's where I do all my content. I do all my stuff. You can see how I visually represent on there. I'm also on Twitter, same name. We have Windermere Abode on Instagram, Windermere, WINDERMERE, Abode, ABODE, all one word on Instagram. That's our Instagram page. We do a lot there. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Inside Abode is my podcast. That's also a vlog series as well. So Inside Abode vlog, and we have the Inside Abode podcast as well. We drop that every week. So yeah, man, I create a lot of content, and some content you might like, some content you might not like. You know what I mean? If you follow me on Twitter, you're going to get a lot of music and basketball. It's not real estate stuff. If you follow me on my Instagram, I'm doing some real estate stuff on there, but really it's just me creating and just showing y'all what I like to do, what I'm into. And then if you want to see my real estate content, that's usually reserved for our channel and making sure that I'm getting our people out there and trying to make sure that we get, you know, get those barriers. So if people have barriers on video, we're going to make sure that you out there. So
I love
that's
it,
how
bro.
we move, man.
Man, I want to connect with you offline about what you're doing with the video stuff, man. We'd love to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you, bro.
Sure.
Thank you for being on the show. And then, yeah, I'm gonna be in touch, man. I want to connect with you soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm an open book, man.
All right, bro.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Man, it's going to be a great episode. And if I can help you in any way, man, hit me up. But we'll connect soon.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Real Estate Entrepreneur with Terrence Murphy. Please subscribe on whichever platform you are listening and consider leaving a 5-star review, as that will help us gain traction and continue to bring you knowledge in the real estate industry. For more content, head over to terrencemurphy.com.